Hello. And we're live. We're live with our favorite property manager, Duke Kimhan. Thank you, Duke, for joining us.
Sure, happy to be here.
Happy Aloha Friday.
Happy Aloha Friday.
Every Friday is Aloha Friday.
You know what? Every day is Aloha whatever, just fill in the blank, because we live in Hawaii, one of the places with the lowest positive cases and deaths for COVID-19, and we hope that it stays that way. So, property management, first off, I think we should start off, Adrian, why did we never want to get into property management as a business decision?
Well, what we've found is that the most litigation and issues tend to come up with property management. And you really have to have a specialization and a true focus on property management. So, and that is absolutely what Duke Kimhan and his group of professional property managers do. They are just 100% focused. And then, also for our viewers, please do comment. We're happy to answer your questions here live. This is something that we're going to be doing with Duke monthly for the property management success stories, success tips, questions. So you can expect an appearance from Duke at least once a month.
Yeah. So, let's talk about, how, people, I know on our end, on the sales end, everybody wants to know what's going on with the market. What's happening with the rental market with COVID-19?
Rentals are strong, and I say that with the intention of, if you're an owner and you have intentions of putting your house on the market, people ask, how is the market? So when you ask me that and you're an owner, I tell you that the rental market is strong. We are currently in a time and month where the PCS season is just starting. And I say that because it's strange, because normally the PCS season for military is April to August. Right now, they moved back the PCS season 2 months because of COVID. And we're getting a ton of inquiries, probably about 30 a day, for people who are trying to move to the island. And the last 16 leases that we just signed were with a sight unseen addendum attached to it. These military personnel are stating that they're going to rent the houses sight unseen, so they have an address to ship their personal items to.
So Duke, real quick on this sight unseen, because we're seeing it on the sales side on our end. Now, you guys are a little unique as far as the property management and how you guys are marketing the rentals. Could you share with our viewers about what could you expect on each one of your vacant properties?
Well, we immediately come in for the marketing, which is free with our company. And you say, how can you market for free? We do. So we take pictures and video, a minimum of 15 pictures, and we do a walking video from the street into your house. And
wait, did you say pictures and video on all the rentals?
Pictures and videos on all rentals, and it's free. Okay?
Wow.
So you are going to get that every time we reset your home. We do not charge for this, but it's the most important thing we do is we document the condition of your home before the tenants move in, for a ton of reasons, mostly for your protection.
Yes. So would you say, this is something that you guys have always done with these pictures and videos? Always have done this.
But the quality of the pictures has really gotten better.
So, but going into this, the pandemic and people having to, do the quarantine and renting sight unseen, it's really become a crucial part of the way that you guys operate.
Yes, and that's, the pictures are twofold, the video is twofold, and the biggest reason, like I said, is to protect the owner. If you ever get in a situation where you have to go to court, the burden of proof for condition is on the property manager. It's on the owner. So we have to go in there, we have to show the video, we have to show the pictures, we have to show the condition of the property if there's any damage and it's disputed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How often does that happen, Duke, where tenants will dispute the condition and not want to pay up on the security deposit on average?
It probably happens 50% of the time. So
okay.
We have probably about 60 to 100 move-outs a year. 50% of the time, the condition of the unit is disputed at move-out.
And what does that mean? What does that mean, though, like as an owner? And what do you guys do to bring value to protect the asset?
If you're an owner representing yourself, that means you're going to have to prove to the tenant, who, if they're military, they get free legal, that you have done everything you were supposed to do when they moved in. The place was professionally cleaned, all the walls were painted, everything was working, and there were no scratches and dents in any of the things that you handed over to them to rent.
So Duke, what happens when a judge gets involved? Because we've heard some nightmare stories about those particular situations.
Okay, so we have a ton of rentals, but we haven't been to court much. But I tell you, I've been to court at least 10 times. And I will tell you, in all of those 10 occasions, the judge will start off by saying, Mr. Kimhan, you're a property manager. You do this for a living. The burden of proof is on you. So he says that to all property managers when they come in the courtroom.
Yes.
The burden of proof, either way, both ways, is on you because you, as a property manager, are a professional.
That's right. And you're held to a higher standard.
Exactly.
So let's just talk about this real quick because it seems to come up frequently. So I know that you've only been to court 10 times, which is great given the amount of turnover and amount of properties that you guys manage and this burden of proof. Now, what if you have the burden of proof and then the judge still rules in favor of the tenant? Maybe give an example of when that's happened.
Okay, so in all cases that I've been to court over, 90% of them have carpet in them.
Okay.
So I will tell you as an owner, that's the last thing you want in a rental is carpet. And in all cases, we've never gotten a full judgment for claim, even in the position where the owner put brand new carpet in, brand new. We had pictures and video prior to the move-in, and the tenants ruined the carpet.
Okay, so stay away from carpet.
We have never gotten full reimbursement for carpet, ever. So the judge will ask how old the carpet is, how much carpet is in there, were all the rooms damaged, what condition was the carpet in, give me a 1 to 10, what condition was it when they came out. And then he actually, a couple of times, did a calculation of what it's worth, how much did we pay. So we said we paid $7,000 for the carpet over 4 years, which this is brand new carpet. So he says the carpet lasts 7 years, so $7,000 be $1,000 a year, $4,000 in damage, minus 3 rooms that were still good. I mean, we asked for $7,000 to be reimbursed, and he gave us $2,500.
Wow.
And,
so
and
bottom line,
every room had a stain. Every room had damage. And so it's really difficult for a property manager to go back to the owner and say, hey, Mr. Owner, I went to court, and this is the judgment we got.
So bottom line, just don't do the carpet. If you're going to have an investment property, carpet's a bad idea.
Bad idea.
So what's the best alternative, Duke? What are you recommending for your owners?
Vinyl flooring. It's the most cost effective. It's easy to put in, has a 25-year shelf life, and it's waterproof. Good Lord.
Yeah. Now, when you say waterproof, we jokingly say that. Tell us about the water leaks.
Water leak is probably the most common phone call we get in the night or the weekend. I have a leak. Where? It's coming from upstairs. There you have an up to down rental or a stacked unit. we always get an up to down leak. So the worst call we can get is we have a sewer backup in your unit and you're the down unit. So it's coming up through the bottom toilets and shower. So that's the worst call. Or we had one where the house was 2 weeks old. The house was brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brand new. It was 2 weeks old. The owner bought the house, gave us the keys. We didn't have a showing there for the first 2 weeks. So we went there the second week after they took off island. We opened the door and water came pouring out of the living room door.
Wow.
So it was a flange in the back of the hot water sink in the master bedroom that broke. And it continued to pour hot water into the living room, dining room, and upstairs and downstairs bedrooms.
Wow.
Complete loss. $65,000 claim.
Wow. And then you guys, now this is interesting with, you guys are super experienced with dealing with these kind of claims and project managing these massive repairs that need to be done, or even small repairs. Could you, let's talk about that a little bit and the importance of having the eyes on the work.
So the real value to Hawaii Pacific Property Management is we do walkthroughs and we handle all these little claims, but the walkthroughs are key. Now I've had owners come over to us because they said that the property manager that they used before had not walked through their property in sometimes as long as 5 years.
Wow.
So the owners have no eyes inside the unit. They don't know who's living there. They don't know how many tenants live there, what condition it is. We go through 2 times a year minimum, and we document, we take pictures, we send the owner pictures, and we tell them, hey, Mr. Owner, this is what it looks like on the inside. And that's a real value.
Yeah.
You need that. You need somebody calling in your unit because you can pick up animals, you can pick up unwanted guests that are staying there. You can do all kinds of pre-checks and spot checks for animal damage, pet damage, and things like that.
Gotcha. We talked about it in the beginning. You guys are getting these things rented sight unseen. I think what people are realizing or needing is to be able to see a property and get a good feel for it without walking through because of COVID-19. So I want to screen share with you guys real quick. You got your website, Duke, and what I'll do is I'll take them through the what we're looking at. So if you go to hipacificpm.com, let me know when you guys can see it. Can you see it?
We can see it, and then we've got a quick question about extra insurance. What's your input on renter's insurance, and who is responsible for paying that, renter or landlord?
Okay, so landlord, we have a property management section in our agreement that states you should pick up added insurance for lost rents. There's an extra insurance thing that probably a rider that costs maybe $30 a year. And we require the tenants to get renter's insurance for simple things like a water leak, for a termite tenting that might come up, for something that they may need to exit the property and go get a rental for. And these are things their rental insurance policy will cover. You as the owner will not be liable to get them a place to stay for 2 nights or 3 nights. We do require that.
Yeah. All right. So let's walk them through the website.
So yeah, I want to show you guys the website that you're talking about, because I think most importantly right now, the marketing. Duke, a lot of times when I see property managers or for rent by owners, they got like one junky picture on Craigslist, and that's about it. Looks like you guys are even renting Cocoa Head. No, that's just a fact.
So go up to available rentals, Attilio.
Yeah.
On the top.
So I'll go to available rentals. That'll take us to this. Then you click on the pictures and look at these awesome pictures that you guys have of this. I'll just highlight this one real quick, for example. Just look at the pictures there, and
can really get a sense. Here. You can get a sense of what's in the kitchen, the layout.
Corian countertops. and you have contact information for the property manager that handles that property in order to ask specific questions about that unit.
Yeah, but look how clean this unit is. And what I noticed is you guys are using professional wide angle, well-lit photos. And why do I recognize this caliber of photos? Because typically we're not seeing it in property management. We're only seeing it on the marketing side. That's why we appreciate how good these pictures are, because you're typically only seeing this on the marketing side, very rarely on the property management side. So I'm showing everybody, you can see the view.
And that's why we recommend all of our clients, and also you fellow agents out there that are doing sales, you know, send your clients over to Duke. They specialize in property management. They've got 100% return to agent guarantee.
We do not do sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at how easy it is. You can see the map where you guys are, you know, if you're in a particular area, you can view details. You can even apply now. I like that. Everything's all automatic. You're late at night going, oh, I got to find a place to rent. You can do it all before they even start talking with you guys, right?
So once they hit the apply now button, what happens is they're taken to another screen that asks them to upload their paycheck stub, to fill out their pertinent information, and then it immediately credit checks and background checks them for criminal.
Now that's an important
yeah.
The background check. Why do you guys go that deep, Duke?
Because we offer an eviction guarantee. There is such thing as an eviction guarantee. And I will tell you this because when I was looking for a property management company for my properties, no one would be able to say, no one. What if there is an eviction in the property? Whose cost is that? Everybody said it was the owner's cost.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right. That's not fair. It's not fair to the owners, because if they do a crappy job background checking or criminal checking, who's going to pay for that? You know, if a property manager misses a key element of somebody's, maybe at a bankruptcy, maybe he's going through a divorce. So it's super important that I am liable for making a mistake on a background check.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
and you own it. You're like 100% accountable on it, at 100% ownership.
We were watching Batman and Robin the other day, and you know what Robin said? Holy guarantee, Batman. So, and I'm putting it up there, you know, creating a memory hook with the humor that we're using to present this, but it's anything but funny, right? Because when you got to evict somebody,
that is not funny. Evictions are not funny.
Yeah, if you're doing it wrong. Yeah, what are the downsides of doing it wrong?
Okay, so what are the downsides of doing it wrong now during COVID? Let me just tell you what the downside is. If you do not have a professional property manager pulling for you, and you have a tenant right now who isn't paying you rent, you are stuck.
Yeah.
There is nothing legally you can do. But if you have a professional that has a lawyer, that has legal services, that has background checking behind you, we are already sending legal letters out stating, Mr. So-and-so, we know that it's COVID right now and the state is not allowing us to do any evictions or collections. But I am telling you in writing, and I'm a lawyer representing Hawaii Pacific Property Management, that as soon as the state opens up the collection and eviction system, we have every intention to file collection against you.
And people think that there's like piles and piles of these happening. You guys have pretty good in the trenches information on this with 700 plus properties. How many of these are occurring right now? Within two.
I have 2 legal letters.
But those, though, my understanding is that they're not able to pay their rent, and then you put them in front of Catholic Charities Hawaii, who's helping them to get the necessary funds so that they are not in defaults. Is that what you guys do? You try and help the tenant resolve the issue instead of evict first?
Catholic Charities came out 2 weeks ago with a bulletin to the Hawaii Association, Hawaii Board of Realtors, and stated that they have millions of dollars that they have to use to assist in rental. So we sent out two of these owners or tenants to call them. One of them did, and one of them got assistance. So now we only have one person who is just not paying, doesn't is uncooperative, and is using this COVID to get through free rent.
Well, I mean, for the amount of properties that you guys have under management, I would say that's a great stat that you're able to share with our viewers. Now, we've had a couple other questions.
Okay.
How are you sure if the renter's insurance is being paid? So like up front they pay it, and then maybe they don't pay when it's time to relapse.
Okay, so when a tenant files for renter's insurance, it's renter's insurance is only to help the renter, right? So if a renter is choosing not to pay the renter's insurance, who is that going to hurt? Certainly not going to hurt the owner. It's only we're doing that so when they get in a situation that they have to do a claim for and help themselves, that they have somewhere to go to.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so I want to show even more because you had mentioned the videos. So I'm showing you guys one of the listings again. Here's all the pictures, video, full motion, and let me know if it's coming up.
Yep. And then while we're waiting for that, Mike Oblon says, a refrigerator goes down. Who's responsible for spoiled or loss of food?
There's no written documentation for this. Spoiled food is not covered in the landlord-tenant code. So in order to be a good landlord, a lot of times I ask the owners to make a contribution to the tenants toward their spoiled food, because it's not the owner's fault and it's not the tenant's fault, but the tenant is living under a blanket of security that the owner creates.
Yes.
So sometimes when that blanket blows off, it's probably good to do the right thing, do the Hawaii thing, and just make an offer and just say, hey, I'll give you $100 off your rent next month to cover.
Keeps the tenant happy, and I guess like when you have the turnover, having a 1 month of vacancy is a lot more money than throwing some goodwill at the tenant. Like, hey, have some money to offset the food loss. We're so sorry this happens.
Well, the only time that's going to happen is two things. One, electricity is shut down, right? Two, the refrigerator goes out.
Yeah.
Or the part in the refrigerator goes out. As soon as we know that, if we're going to have that on a Friday, we go ahead and rent a refrigerator for the weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You guys have thought of it all.
Nice. Yep. If it's during the week, a lot of times the repair person, the parts, they're usually in stock. So there's few occasions where we'll get a call on a Friday or a Saturday. We got one on Christmas, and the property manager and I went and bought a refrigerator for them on Christmas. Yep. Put it on my truck and took it over there.
It's you going above and beyond, even Christmas Day.
Yep.
Not only doing that, but then you avoided the property owner from taking time away from their family because they're paying you guys those fees. So what isn't like 1 month's vacancy equal to a whole pile of property management fees, and it helps you avoid a whole bunch of headaches?
So we get owners who we recommend sometimes they're asking too much rent to lower the rent a little bit. So let me just run a scenario by you. So let's just say you're asking $3,700 and you don't get it. And so we say, hey, probably got to go down to $3,200 or $3,300. And they're like, oh no, we're going to stay at $3,700. But we've already been vacant for 3 weeks. We haven't had any inquiries because we're too high, right? And so if you went another week of vacancy at $3,700, losing $300 a month, right, would only be 10 months of having $3,300 or $3,400.
Yeah.
So you help them to understand like the math behind the pricing and the time of the vacancy.
People will stick over $100 and not lower their rent and lose $2,400, which is 2 years of $100 a month.
Wow.
And in 1 month, they'll lose it. And I'll say that's just not good investment advice.
No, sounds like they make more of an emotional decision instead of a business decision, which is what you guys are there for, to help advise them and keep keep that logical side of the brain working.
Well, this is a common one where we'll say, Mr. Owner, your lease is up next month. Do you want to try and increase the rent? Yes. I want to increase the rent $200 because that's where I think I need to get. I've been negative all this time. We like, if you increase at 200, you may lose the tenant.
Yeah.
They're like, no, try it anyway. And then you go vacant for a month.
Yeah.
Not a good choice.
Gotten somebody in with a more marketable rent. So, Duke, who is this handsome guy and what is he talking about on this video blog?
I don't know who the handsome guy is, but with our blog section is the top right section of our website, and it has all the videos. And I think we're doing the radio shows now. We're
the tip of the week.
Making them, on there. And there's a lot of advice to how to save money, how to handle termites, how do you handle maintenance calls, and things like that. Renter's insurance. There's many subjects.
So these videos are good for owners, tenants, realtors, anyone that just is interested in property management or investing.
Yeah, and if you don't want to read, you just want to watch a video. Boom! These are anywhere between 1 and 3 minutes.
And Duke's a professional too. He's a pro. He's been featured on Hawaii.
You can check out.
Professional actor here.
Aloha. And you can check out his Aloha shirt collection with every video. So I wanted to get back to that. I clicked on the rental application. Look at all this stuff. Before you begin, where you've lived, your housemates. What's that about, housemates?
There's a lot of times your roommates will have a direct impact on your credit. So if you had a situation where you had housemates, or you're going to apply with somebody on a dual application, which really is not smart, because when you apply with two people's credit gets pulled. And we do charge for this. This is not free. People have to pay $50, $51 now, because the rates to do a credit pull have gone up from $15 to $25. It's really expensive.
Yeah. I know a lot of times tenants, one of their biggest complaints is nobody answers their phone, and it's just a big hassle to apply for a rental property. You guys have it all here. You can attach documents. You've got an FAQ section, fees. One of the things too, I noticed right at the top is, where did I see it? Over here, right here. Pay the rent. What does that mean, pay the rent?
We require our tenants to pay online. There's no choice to mail in a check into our office. Property management has really gone all e-commerce now.
Yes.
It's cashless society. And we do that we auto pay our vendors. We get auto paid on rent. So on the first, if you don't have it in your account, your account's being debited and you're being charged a late fee.
And for those of you who have some issues with sight or hearing or any of those things, if you click on this accessibility menu, my understanding is that makes available the site available for people that are even blind. It creates accessibility.
So we're gonna have to, as much fun as this has been, we're gonna have to wrap this up until next month, because Attilio and I have a continuing education class to catch.
Yes, that too.
We've got to get those credits in before November and keep our license in good standing.
So
I did my Corby yesterday.
Good job.
Any final words, Duke, for our for all our viewers and listeners out there in La La Land?
Yeah, ask the right questions if you're an owner. Ask who's going to pay for the eviction. If you find a difference, give us a call. Look us up on the internet, or you can just give us a call in our office at 445. Guarantees, they're all written for you, and we are nominated by KITV for Best of. See us on Channel 4, and we're really excited to be on your show. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, dude.
See you next month.
Aloha.
Aloha.